Greetings once again, pirates on the high seas. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more One Piece. In the previous chapter, the Straw Hats along with Bonnie, Kuma, and Lilith have set sail with the giant warrior pirates, escaping from Egghead from the world government, and their destination, Elbaf, after so many years. And let me tell you, baby, as someone who has been watching One Piece since the 4Kids days, essentially I've been checking out this series for the past 20 years. Let me just say that it has been a long time coming. Their escape was facilitated by the sacrifice of the Iron Giant, releasing Joy Boy's hockey knot, still trying to figure out what the hell that is, that managed to knock out all the Marines, including the Vice Admirals on top of that, with Dory noting the hockey being even stronger than Shanks. And if you watched film Red, you saw that Shanks' hockey could get a Vice Admiral on one knee at most. But most of last chapter was Sanji's lament at the death of Dr. Vegapunk, and a flashback that showed that the main Stella Vegapunk, as well as Shock and Pythagoras, had 2 weeks ago discovered a traitor amongst them. They sussed out a week later that it was York, and found her communications with Marie-Joie about the Void Century. 6 days before this incident, he found out about the destruction of Lelucia, and decided on his final stand in the island where all of his greatest creations and dreams came true. It was 2 days ago that Vegapunk recorded his message, and all three of them had wiped their memories. But Vegapunk had left a message in regards to his upcoming death, showing why Shaka had informed Dragon of such. And whether you agree or not with Vegapunk's decision to just die, the words that run through Sanji's mind are how Vegapunk said that he wanted the Straw Hats to be the ones to find the One Piece. The will of Vegapunk lives on, unfortunately through York, but mostly through Lilith, and also with the Straw Hats themselves. With the genius of the world putting so much faith into our heroes, will they live up to the legacy? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, One Piece chapter 1124, Close Friend. Is that Osome? It's Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest, Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 12, Preventing an Abduction on the Road to Curry. I think that's Osome. Or maybe not, I think her hair's a little bit different. But who would be trying to abduct someone after everything that's gone down in the country? Wild. Well, I'm interested to find out more about that, but on to the chapter. We pick up in Big News Morgan's news blimp, where you hear him screaming, "It's time to get the dance floors of the world bouncing, folks. We've got a fresh set list of tracks packed full of news. New news. Give them fear. Paint a picture of utter disaster in the future. They're desperate for information, and the only place they'll get it is the next World Economic Journal," he squawks. While Vivi dismissively says, "You're incorrigible." Vegapunk spoke of hope as well. Morgans angrily says, "Don't tell me how to run my stage, little girl, or I'll tell them where you're hiding." But Vivi snaps back saying, "Oh, did I say something to offend you, you falsehood amplifying albatross? Jesus." Dang. Vivi kept that sharp tongue from Nami, huh? The intelligent people of the world won't be manipulated by your lies. While Wapple is aghast at this, he pops in saying, Now, Vivi, my dear sweet girl, let's not forget that we have nowhere to go if we make him angry." It's so weird to see Wapple sucking up to Vivi like this. Morgans then squawks to his crew, "Well, you have a point. The truth's a good tale as well. The whole world's sinking into the sea. Quah-ha-ha-ha. But the sky is my home. I guess it'll be my era soon." And he has a bit of a point. Even Vegapunk said that he wanted to keep the cloud production machine going because if push comes to shove, the clouds are the place to go. And we know that people can make habitats in the sky, so there's that. shoot, the next series of One Piece will either be involving a vast land that hasn't been explored in 1,000 years, or it'll be a story about people venturing through the clouds. Morgans then turns to Vivi saying, "So, do you really want to take that attitude with me, princess? Sure it won't set you back in the days ahead?" Vivi says, "I'm sure. If the world is going to be destroyed, I don't expect to live through it anyway." Damn. Morgans continues squawking on, "Quah! Look at this. A whole pile of juicy stories to gawk at." Wapple tries to calm Vivi down, saying, Vivi, I don't think it's such a good idea to..." Morgans calls out, "Emperor Blackbeard versus Trafalgar Law, Emperor Redhair versus Eustace Captain Kidd, Emperor Straw Hat Luffy murders Vegapunk." Vivi calls out, "Liar!" Oh boy. Yeah, of course that'd be the story he rolls with. I do wonder how long this kind of partnership between Vivi and Morgans will go on. Because let's be honest, Morgans is already kind of somewhat on the bad side of the government. And if they find out that he's been harboring Vivi this entire time, and I feel like that'd be pressing his luck a little too much. Then again, he might be able to spin it in his favor. Who knows? We pick up on the outskirts of Egghead. Where we see Sentomaru rowing away, with tears in his eyes. Meanwhile, the only person not passed out is Kizaru, as a call comes in from Akainu saying, "What happened? Come in, Egghead." Kizaru picks it up saying, "Oh, shut up." Akainu says, or Sakazuki, it's hard to know what I should call him sometimes, saying, "Why are you picking up the call, Borsellino? What happened to the others?" Kizaru sits down saying, "Every last one is asleep and foaming at the mouth." Sakazuki says, "What's that supposed to mean? Is Saint Saturn unharmed? What about the power plant? Any escapees?" Kizaru says, "I'll have a report sent in once the youngins wake up." Sakazuki says, "You better not have done a sloppy job on this one, Borsellino." Kizaru says, "Alright, Sakazuki, tell me something. Have you ever killed a close friend?" Sakazuki doesn't respond, and Kizaru, with his usual face, thinks back to his friendship with Vegapunk. When they first met, Kizaru saying, "Man, you got a big head. I'm Borsellino, a Navy sailor. How much can you pay?" Vegapunk saying, "Huh?" Kizaru says, "This arrest is just an excuse. What you really want is my..." Okay, so it was Vegapunk saying, "How much can you pay?" While Kizaru says, "Huh?" Vegapunk says, "This arrest is just an excuse. What you really want is my brain. How much can you pay in the research fund?" Kizaru says, "Oh, you're funny." Then cut to when they were developing Egghead. Vegapunk showing him the blueprint saying, "And this is what it'll look like. And I'm going to call it Egghead." And then Sentomaru and Kuma helping with the construction, while Bonnie and Vegapunk watch. Vegapunk saying, "We're building the future 500 years ahead. I could use a hand, Borsellino." Kizaru says, "You know I'm an admiral now, right?" And then he remembers cutting down Vegapunk. And as Kizaru watches the island that he helped to build up burn, he walks over to the bow of the ship saying, "You want to know if I did a sloppy job, Sakazuki?" And he yells with what looks like tears in his eyes saying, "If you have time to sit there and doubt me, then come over here and see my work for yourself, you ungrateful brat." Sakazuki is a bit taken aback by this and simply says, "I'm sorry, brother." Kizaru says, "Don't even start." Dang. Everybody was kind of waiting for that moment where his mask finally kind of cracked. And there it was. Kizaru did his duty, and it has someone questioning that when he struck down someone who meant quite a lot to him. He did his job, but dang. It's the kind of situation that caused Aokiji to walk away, let's be honest. I feel like Sakazuki's starting to understand more and more as time goes on why Dragon probably left. You pick up on the giant warrior ship with the Thousand Sunny sailing next to it. On the Thousand Sunny. Okay, so it seems that Frankie and Zoro are with Jinbei, who's steering the ship. I think it's Jinbei who asks, "It's so quiet. Are they done partying?" While Frankie, in a very dapper looking outfit, says, "Sounds like they only had one mug each." Jinbei says, I didn't think Luffy would feel so down." Is he sad about what happened to Vegapunk? I know we didn't fulfill our goal, but Zoro's silent, drinking, with them remembering Vegapunk's request, I'd request on a ride off of Egghead. Frankie says, it was the 5 elders, a Navy Admiral, CP-0, the Seraphim, and a blockade of battleships. It's such a miracle that we escaped that hell. I still can't entirely wrap my mind around it. He's speaking for the fandom right there. It's just like, dude, that was a lot of stuff we had to deal with. Jinbei says, I totally agree, still. Ozora says, this is pathetic. He's one of the 4 emperors now, and he's moping over one geezer dying. Like, Jesus. Jinbei's like, oh, come on. Like, dang, Zoro. I swear, moments like these make me think, man, Zoro, I remember when you used to be fun. Like, dang, dude. Like, I know you're supposed to be the stoic, cool guy, but jeez. Aboard the giant warrior ship, Lilith wakes up in a bit of shock. Chopper saying she's awake. Surrounding her, Usopp, Chopper, Nami, and Sanji. Usopp seems to be working on something, while Chopper says, I'm so glad. Lilith says, phew, huh? Nami says, are you okay, Lilith? While Sanji fawns over her. Lilith checks her headpiece, kind of questioning it, I guess receiving some kind of signal. I'm not sure who's talking, but I'm gonna guess maybe Usopp says, oh yeah, we're in a cabin on the giant ship. Everything's huge here. Yeah, it is. Jeez. I think it's Chopper who says this is tough to admit, but of all the Vegapunks, we failed to bring anyone else but you. We're so sorry. Lilith says nothing. Nami then says, Atlas knocked you out. I think that's why. Lilith says, don't worry. I just heard the whole story. Sanji questions, you heard it? From whom? Is she still connected to Punk Records somehow? How did she hear it? Lilith then takes a moment saying, now give me a minute to cry, and she bursts into tears. With Usopp asking, what part of you is evil again? She then says, okay, I'm hungry. Huh. And someone's saying, you recover quick. And they think, I guess it's because Vegapunk cut greed out of his brain. Oh, you want food? The giants put out some fruit on the table. Brooke shows her to the table, but says, oh, watch out, it's gloomy up there. Where Luffy is saying, damn it, I gave him my word. I said I'd save the old apple man. You see Luffy sadly eating. While Chopper says Luffy's in real bad shape. He's so depressed, he's only eaten 5 bunches of grapes. Wait, bunches of the giant grapes? Jeez. Lilith saying, that seems like plenty. Lilith says, oh, I see. So you're feeling sad about me, Luffy. Oh, don't worry. I've just heard it all. Sanji says, what do you mean? Why do you keep saying you heard it? Lilith explains, I was crying earlier because I was sad about everyone else's death. But it is only death by your concept of it. You see, the truth is, in short, they're all alive. Chopper, Luffy, Usopp, Nami, Brooke, and Sanji are aghast, saying, what? Are they still alive in her? I don't quite understand. What does that mean? They're alive. Like, I get it. Their bodies died. And I guess technically because it was just the personalities split off into different bodies, that's what died. So technically, yeah, they died because they all had experiences and stuff. But did Atlas maybe take all the experiences they had on Egghead and put them into Lilith? Because I've said before, what makes a person is your experiences. You could have 2 identical clones who have all the same memories and stuff, but once one starts doing something and the other does something else, they become different people. It's like how twins will go off. At home, they'll have a very similar diet, very similar clothes because of how they're brought up, but they might start to develop certain tastes and interests and stuff because of who they interact with, especially if they don't interact with the same people. And once they go off, they start to have different diets, different ways of living, just different things altogether, and they start to look much more different as they get older. That's not always the case, but it tends to happen sometimes. You can usually always tell certain twins apart by their jaw structure. I noticed that with a lot of twins that I've seen before. Their facial features are just different enough that it's just like, okay, you're this other one. But how does that work for the Vegapunks? I mean, it was even said in the previous chapter where Shaka said, what is death to someone like them? And that's a good question. What is death for them? Yes, their bodies are gone, but their experiences are something that they could even share amongst each other. So I guess technically they saved Vegapunk? And does she have the minds of all of them too? How curious. It's also interesting that the very first Vegapunk that they met, well, almost all of them met, and the last one standing was Lilith. I'm still sad that we couldn't have Atlas go, because Atlas's relationship with Luffy will always be my favorite because she decked him in the face. I know it's a weird reason to still love Atlas, but Atlas will always be my favorite because she decked Luffy in the face. And Luffy had it coming on that one and he took it. He's just like, that's my bad. I'll miss you, Atlas. And I'll miss the drip god Shaka too. But Lilith's cool. Third choice is better than the last. Everyone questions. Oh, Lilith says, but to you, they're dead. But the other saying, what? I don't get it. Are they ghosts? Lilith says, my point is, you did keep your promise to me, so don't feel sad, Luffy. I doubt they understand. I don't understand either. I need a more detailed explanation of what exactly that means now. And is she going to have weird dramatic mood swings? We'll see a little bit of the Edison, a little bit of the Pythagoras. Will she still be a little bit evil and impulsive? Will we see a kind of York-like side to her, or has that still been cut completely out? Will she kind of be a little bit like Shaka? It's weird. Luffy jumps up on the giant warrior's table, saying, yo. Oimo says, Straw Hat, feeling better now? Luffy calls out, hey, giant guys, thanks for coming to save us. The giants say, yeah, are you ready now? Shall we feast? Bring out the food and the drink. I can't tell who it is, but someone calls out, Zoro, Luffy's better. Over the side of the giant warrior ship, the chef starts bringing out piles of food, saying, I've been waiting for this. Eat all you want. While Brogy laughs, Gah-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Robin then hugs Chopper, saying, I can see Saul when we get to Elbaf. While Chopper says, I'm so happy for you, Robin. Aw, that's so sweet. One warrior says, I'd like that toast you gave earlier, Straw Hat. While Luffy says, Vegapunk said that whoever finds the One Piece will run the whole world. Another says, who do you think's going to be king of the pirates? Luffy says, that's the whole reason I went to sea. And everyone does a cheer, saying, I don't care if you guys end up as my enemies. You know it's going to be me in the end. And everyone says, woo, cheers. Everyone raises their mugs. All the Straw Hats, Lilith, Bonnie, Oimo and Kashin and Dory and Brogy. Man, it's been a long time coming seeing this. I mean, Elbaf is the last real place, because there were still things we really needed to see. We needed to see Vegapunk, and we've seen all sides of Vegapunk. Like, we went from needing to see Vegapunk to having 7 Vegapunks, and now we're down to 2. One evil, and the other evil, but more conventional evil, a necessary evil kind of situation. The narrator says, the ship charts a course northeast, en route to the storied land of Elbaf, home of the giant. And as the ship sways amongst the waves with laughter and glee, we cut to Warland, New World, Elbaf, as a figure sits on the shore saying, come on. Who the heck is that? So it's interesting because Morgans hasn't sent out the information of Luffy being the supposed killer. Will Vivi disrupt it? Maybe send out an alternate version of the paper herself, take things into her own hands? Because she's getting more and more outspoken about everything that Morgans does. But will she just let him publish it? Or will she try to take things into her own hands? Because Vivi, I would expect as much, but you never know. And Vivi and Morgans are butting heads more and more. Something's got to give, and I'm wondering what that thing that gives is gonna be. I wonder where Sentomaru's gonna end up too. It would make sense if he ended up with the revolutionaries. I feel like that'd be a good place for Lilith, Bonnie, Kuma, all of them. It feels like they should probably end up with the revolutionaries. I'm not really sure how the situation of them going to Elbaf is going to turn out. It makes sense for Lilith to hang around, but I'm not sure about Bonnie and Kuma. Shoot, I'm not sure about Kuma in general. I'm interested to see where that goes. We're almost about to meet Loki. Maybe we'll meet Hyrudine again. There's a lot that could happen. And the cracks in Borsalino are finally starting to show. Like, I feel like this is we're taking the steps towards him coming to his own conclusion. It's kind of one of those situations where he served faithfully for so many years, but now he's also starting to question, like, was that the right thing to do? To betray someone I was so close to for so long? I'm interested to see where that ultimately leads to. What is Lilith receiving signals from? Is it all just in her head? Are all of their personalities there or something? Is she receiving transmissions from Punk Record? Is that even still possible? And how long will that last, too? And so much is now in the world government's hand. A lot has been destroyed, but who knows? If they get someone smart enough, probably not as well, they have York. So there's a lot she could end up giving them, too. Lilith would be better served being with the revolutionaries, because we need someone who can openly counter what York does for the world government. I feel like that's necessary. I feel like that's absolutely necessary, or that would become too much of a problem. I don't know how I feel about Lilith joining the Straw Hats. I don't know, that just doesn't feel right. Same with Bonnie. I don't know. Something there doesn't quite add up for me, but if anyone can make it work, it's Oda. And who is this figure waiting on the shore? Who could it be? Scoffer Gabon? Golden Lion Shiki? Is it Saul? Always hard to tell. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and hope to see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.